Good evening, I'm Hotrod Bob, and you've got gas. The Great American Auto Scene, brought to you by Valley Head Service, Irwindale Speedway, Irwindale Drag Strip, and Tucker Tire. Cuba! We were watching our new opening and forgot that we actually have to talk.
Good night, folks.
Cuba! Hey, everybody, I'm Hotrod Bob. Welcome to GAAS, the Great American Auto Scene. We are here coming to you live and direct for high atop our studios in North Hollywood, California. With us in studio tonight, as always, the inimitable Anna Marco Octane. She's over there someplace hiding. And behind the controls, Bruce Barker.
The award-winning
voice.
Barker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bruce Barker just got an award for doing an ad about a mall in
It was basically, I understand it was from the National Helium Voice Association. Is that very true?
That's right!
Very good. Congratulations.
And he's got a new job at the Wizard of Oz movie. He could be one of the Munchkin voiceovers. And with us in the studio today, get our guest host, Randy Kerdoon, from Talking About Cars.
Hello, thank you. Thank you. It's great to be here. Great to be anywhere.
Is it? That's true. It's we're well aware of that we're here. And alongside Randy, our in-studio guest tonight is Ed, car guy extraordinaire from, and now all of us, we just realized, are from the same car club, TMPCC, the motion picture television. I gotta remember those letters. It's hard. Yeah, and
sorry, Ken.
We understand a shout out to Ken Lotka, who's watching us. Sorry, Ken. I haven't had all the caffeine I need today. As a matter of fact, I cut down on the caffeine, so I've slowed down quite a bit. But I'm talking about the normal I do, and we're going over here to Bruce. We'll be playing things all day long. But now, also calling it a little bit later on. It's either Steve Gibbs or Cindy Gibbs, not sure which, about Nitro Revival. Now, this is going to be a great event. We're going to talk a little bit about it a little bit later on. That's going to happen at Irwindale Drag Strip this weekend. Right now, 50 Top Fuel cars are already signed up. Adam Sorokin, Mindy Fry, with their current Top Fuel front-engine cars, are going to be there. The Winged Express, going to make its first ever pass at the 8th mile at Irwindale Drag Strip. It's going to be a great day of excitement, nostalgia style. 50 Top Fuel cars signed up at the same time. We'll talk about that a little bit more when Cindy and Steve call in later on. But right now, let's go over to talk to Ed. Ed, car guy, what does that mean? I mean, I know you, and we first met when you were doing the brokerage for a local credit union.
That's correct.
Now, explain what services and what things you can do for people.
I'm a broker, but I've been buying, selling, and trading cars for about 112 years. My dad actually, when I was 16, my dad was a salesman, and he took me to a lot. And I had about $2,000 to spend, and so actually it was less than that. It was like $1,500 to spend back in 1973. And it took me, and of course I was looking at the Trans Ams and the Camaro
as
SS's
a normal red-blooded American guy would do.
They were trying to show me the cars that were leaning up against the curb.
Oh.
And my dad said, look, he's got a budget, to the salesman that came up to us, and he said, well, don't talk about the price of the car, just where do you want your payment, and just like the car, I'll make the payment right. My dad just smiled at me and went, go ahead. And so I go on the test drive with the guy, and he did all the qualifying questions. Are you buying the car? Is your dad buying the car? Do you have money? Do you have credit? And was just hammering me in the car. And of course, it was a dark blue Camaro SS that was just gorgeous. And so when we get back to the dealership, it was like 3 times what my budget was. And the guy said, come on in, let's go in and talk in the office. My dad said, no. He said, if you can make a deal right now with the budget that we already told you, I'll write you a check and we'll leave. And the guy went, I
like it when those guys do that.
And then so he said, I'll be back in a minute. And he goes and gets his boss.
Yeah.
And his boss comes out and says, hey, how can I help you? Come on in. Let's just see what we can do with the numbers. And my dad turned around to me and said, this is what is known as a hello TO, or turnover. This guy's a green pea, but this guy says he's the boss, but he's really not the boss. He's just a closer. And the two guys were just standing there going,
We've been found out.
We've been found out. And so after that we found out we couldn't buy that car, we left. But my dad taught me everything about the car business and about buying, selling, leasing. And I was 16 years old, and I've been doing it for friends and family ever since. And I've been an actor for 37 years, member of SAG. Mainly worked a lot in commercials, and during the writer's strike of 1985, couldn't find anything else to do, so I went and sold cars at a local Ford dealership. But learned everything about the back end of it, because it's not just the price of the car, it's about your cost of money and all the other extras that they try to throw in there. And I became very good at it. So then the strike was over, and I was shooting a McDonald's commercial, and the director said, I'm going to go lease a car. And I said, oh, if you're going to lease a car, find out what the residual is, what the money factor is. Make sure there's no factory dealer incentives. Make sure you're signing a disclosed lease, not a non-disclosed lease. And he went, oh, my God, just will you go with me and I'll pay you? And a business was born.
Nice.
Wow.
And so...
And then we met, what was about 15 years ago.
Correct.
So you were doing this for a local credit union.
Correct.
You were actually the in-house guy that helped people buy cars, and I think you even helped me at the time.
Correct.
Get a car when we first met, and you've been doing it ever since. We've talked about this, and you've had some great cars yourself too. One of the last was this huge Oldsmobile that was just
19 feet long.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about some of the cars you've owned.
Well, my favorite is, of course, the first one that I got, but that I let go, like all of us. It was a 1965.
Ignore the woman behind there.
Show it to the camera. Show it to the camera. There you go. She says, I need a blue SS Camaro. What year Camaro was that, by the way?
It was probably a 69 or a 70.
69?
Yeah.
Okay. That's like the Camaro.
The first generation.
Yeah.
It was the first gen.
Yeah.
And so, but in 1973,
Anna, we just found your new look.
That was just an old car. It was still affordable. And what was I asked? You asked me about the different cars I had.
Other cars
I ended
that you've
up
had.
with a cousin of mine who gave me a 65 Fastback, Mustang Fastback, maroon with black interior.
There you go.
Nice.
And then a buddy of mine had this car that was all jacked up, a 67 Mustang that Bruce is going to put up there. That's actually me in 1976 when I got that car.
And it was the Australian model, so there's Ed on the driver's side.
It's right hand.
That was the Look Cole side.
I see.
That car is somewhere in a junkyard because I like to go zoom zoom back then.
Where many Mustangs ended up.
And
you went to the Starsky and Hutch driving school like most of us did
Absolutely.
at that age.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
But I wish I would have hung on to that 65 Fastback, maroon with black interior. Yeah, someday. And I've also had another 68 Coupe. I've had the Oldsmobile, the 1964 Oldsmobile 98 convertible that had every option possible to man, and it just kind of floated down the highway, and that was fun to deal with. But mainly what I like to do is be in service to others who don't have the information that a lot of guys here do about buying, selling, and leasing cars. Because especially today, it's changing daily. Now you can just go on an app and press a button, and they'll deliver a car to you.
Here's one of your happy, what do you call them, customers or clients? Okay.
That's one of my clients who was too busy at work to do all the shopping, and I actually bought the car, told her what the window sticker is and how much I was saving her, brought it right to her work, and she signed the paperwork there and drove off her car, and I took a small fee, and boom, I was off.
Did she ever test drive it? Most of us would say you got to drive the thing first.
Sure, and that's the first thing. No matter what the numbers are, if you don't like the car, I always tell people my rule is to have you drive with a smile on your face and more money in your pocket. But the first part of it is driving with a smile on your face. Yeah. If you don't like the car that you're driving, you're in the wrong car.
Well, and of course, a lot of our viewers now are going to say, wait a minute, half the cars I bought didn't even run. I can't go do that first. But, that's another challenge altogether.
Yeah,
my car
didn't
even
the other
half.
We're more interested in the other half.
Yeah.
And see, some of these kids today,
I remember.
They had a client that went on an app and said, she's in town. She was an actress and had about $8,000 to spend.
Okay.
And instead, she went on this app and got a car. And she said, Ed, I already got a car. I'm going to be in this car for about 3 years. It's $300 a month. And I said, okay, you had about $8,000 to spend. So you're going to spend over $4,500 on this car. If you would have bought a used car, the car would still be worth, wouldn't depreciate that much. But the other one, you got so much money out of your pocket. Do you know your interest rate? No. Do you know if it comes with a warranty? No. They have to have it now. And it's about looking at this as a marathon, not a sprint when you're doing a car deal, because it was all about the cost of
You have to play the game.
Absolutely.
And there's a game, and not a lot of people really, A, know how to play, and B, aren't really sure they want to play.
Well, at my level, I deal with owners, sales managers, and fleet departments. I never deal with salesmen, the guys that sit there and play liar's poker and,
Right.
That's mine, and they try to fight over people that are called ups when they first come on the lot. So I deal with the decision makers, and I'll buy like 50 cars from the same dealer, so I'm going to get a better deal than someone just trying to get lied to on the internet, which is really interesting now to me, is people just go on the internet and think that they have to look on page 7 of the offer that they were given that says may or may not have this car in stock, and then when you get there, they try to bait and switch
They
you.
lie on the internet?
Absolutely.
What?
So that message I got from Abraham Lincoln the other day telling me to save money wasn't true.
Teddy Roosevelt sent me one.
Oh, my God. They must be friends.
Yeah.
All right. I'll tell you what, folks, we're going to take a quick break right now. And then when we return, we're going to come back with Steve Gibbs and talk about Nitro Reunion. It's coming up this Saturday at Irwindale Drag Strip. Hundreds of cars are going to be going down the drag strip, including the famed Winged Express and the 2 top front-engine, top fuel cars in the country at Irwindale this weekend. We'll be right back. Thanks, Bruce.
Clown, come here, you.
You're early.
Yeah, well, I was
yours.
Yeah, it is.
6000 STE? You're kidding.
What do you mean?
My dad, a Pontiac 6000.
That's high-tech stuff.
The fuel-injected V6, right?
Yeah.
4-wheel disc brakes.
Yeah, it's got everything. Listen, come here. I know you've been hitting the books pretty hard. So, let's go for a ride.
All right.
We build excitement, Pontiac.
Hey, Marty, what's the rush? Oh, hi, Harlow. I can't stop now. I'm coming from a preview of the new 54 Kaiser, and I've got to get over to the paper and write the story.
Hey, they call it the new car with the big change, don't they?
Right. There's a big change in styling, front, back, and inside. And there's more room and comfort than ever before. Man, the new Kaiser is luxurious.
How about the new Kaiser's power?
Oh, there's a big change there, too, with new superpower. The Kaiser has a revolutionary new engine that gives you power on demand. It's like having 2 engines in one. For normal driving, you get Kaiser's famous economy. But when you need an extra burst of power and pickup for passing, or for zooming up hills, you get it. On demand.
Wow, that sounds exciting, Marty. And tonight we are privileged to salute Kaiser as an outstanding member of our Autolite family. Autolite is proud of its long association with Kaiser and Kaiser dealers everywhere.
A comparison between the Plymouth Laser and Tina Turner. Both are exciting. Both have great lines. And both really know how to move. Unfortunately, the Plymouth Laser is the only one you can take home with you.
The guaranteed rebate has been extended until February 28th. Get $1,000 now.
Well, we're looking at the Valley Head Service graphic up on screen right now. We want to welcome the crew over at Valley Head Service, Larry Ofria and Spike and Alex and Ruben. They build great engines and everything from antiques to Lamborghinis. And they are our new sponsor.
Man,
we're so
I love
happy
those
to
guys.
have them. Yay!
Yay! And we also have used Valley Head Service.